Whoa. Where have we been? We've been working.
The ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome.
Welcome back.
Back.
If you're watching this video for the first time, hi, I'm Keith.
I am Adella.
And we are the Afadis.
What are we talking about today, husband?
Talking about starting a new job in a pandemic.
In a panoramic. So we have both started new jobs fairly recently. Me more recently than Keith. At the time of filming, I've just completed my first week at my new job. And you've done...
What month are we in? We are in...
We're in October.
We're in October. I was supposed to say September. Yeah, I started a new job in February of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
In terms
of... What, 8 months?
Did you say February?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 months.
In terms of starting a new job in the pandemic, I wouldn't really say I started in the pandemic too much. I mean, I have technically, and I guess it would have been different to starting like when it was like full on, you know, everybody going to the office every day type of vibe. But you definitely started
I
deep in the pandemic.
Yeah, I got made redundant at the very beginning of everything, and then went through 10 months. Was it? March? No, almost a year. So March.
Doesn't feel like it.
Well, no, I was on furlough for a long time until September. September of last year. Then
I was jealous.
Why were you jealous?
Because everyone was like, oh yeah, like the pandemic, work has slowed down. And I was just like, what? My work sped up. The industry I was in, it was like, anyways, I was working a lot.
Yeah.
So I was really tired. And then obviously, I'm not saying furlough is a good thing or being made redundant is a good thing, but we were lucky enough that we didn't have to struggle too much. It just meant we couldn't save, but we could live off one salary. So not to say, I know you you struggled and you went through it, but
yeah, it wasn't.
I wanted some time off. I really did. But how was it for you starting a job in the pandemic? How did you find that? Was it like no one going into the office? Induction all online?
Yeah, everything was online, which was a bit weird at first. Yeah, everything was online. It was strange because, you know, when you first start a new job and you have those moments or days where it's like no one's really, you don't have much to do.
Yeah.
So that times like 5 is that when you're at home. So it's just like, are people going to be wondering what I'm doing and stuff like that?
Yeah.
But then I quickly realized that everybody's still adjusting to this. Everybody was adjusting to that new way of working.
Yeah.
So I was probably like an afterthought.
Yeah, it must be hard because as much as like I think a lot of office workers are fighting for like that flexibility of not having like working remotely or whatever. There is something, I don't think we will admit it, but there is something in face-to-face being like in the office, the culture. I know companies love to say that, but the culture is different. I imagine like being new and then not actually being able to see people and just hearing people's names and stuff. And you have to wait until you have a meeting with them. And if they turn the camera on, then you'll kind of get to know them. So I do feel like, yeah, in those situations, working remotely, I don't think it's ideal for like a new person or the person inducting the new person. I, in my last job, did induct someone remotely. So someone who was working under me started during that time as well. And it's hard on both sides. Like, it's just hard because you can't have that face-to-face interaction, that sort of like camaraderie that you can build and stuff like that.
Like I'm kind of in the middle of that. I'm like, I guess they call it phygital, like the go-between, like the phygital and the digital world.
The physical and the digital.
What did I say?
You said the phygital and the digital.
Yeah, the physical. Because I have intern, but we've had interns start. So I've had some days where I go in and then some days where it's online. But then still trying to figure out, like, we're still basically trying to figure out how this hybrid working system works. So then it's like, you have so much to do, but then you also have to induct somebody into a new thing, which is
And
Crazy.
as the newbie, I feel that, like, because I've been in the position where, you know, when you've got someone new, an intern, an employee, whatever, and like, you obviously don't want to give them too much work at the beginning, and you also can't give them too much because they don't know anything yet. And it's that awkward phase of like, I'm busy, I've got stuff to do, but you're new and I need to sort of keep you busy, and you feel so conscious that they're like twiddling their thumbs. So being on the other end now of being someone that's new, I just don't like that new period of like, I know you think you need to give me some stuff, and you're obviously like trying to balance your work with inducting me, and then I want to be useful but also like have to accept. I spoke to my therapist about this yesterday, like wanting to feel useful but also accepting that you're new and there's literally nothing you can do right now because you don't know anything, and like trying to soak stuff in but also trying to contribute but not annoyingly because you obviously don't know anything but you bring a fresh perspective. There's just so many layers to it, and I think being new is hard in general for everyone. So being new in a pandemic is also hard, and the pandemic, I think, has brought out a lot of good in terms of like flexible working, blah blah blah. But there's some things about pandemic corporate work life that annoy me.
Which are
the way people communicate. I feel like we need. I feel like we need a.
That's so true.
We need like a general.
Not everything needs to be a meeting.
Exactly.
Oh
we
my
need.
gosh.
We need to agree on like. We've got like a new. Anyways, this somebody senior that I was talking to the other day, and he was talking about this and how like he actually with his team at the time, they all did like a sensor or what's it called? Anyways, a survey, and they collated like what people liked about remote working, what they didn't, and they tried to keep the good and get rid of the bad, and then they kind of came to an agreement of like how they would communicate. So like what platform is used for what, and they all kind of like agreed on a rule. And I feel like all organizations need to do that because you go into different places where like people use different forms of communication for different things. So, you know, you have some people who will like ping you on Teams for everything, send you files, send you documents, send you everything. You have people who you'll be CC'd into an email thread and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got 30 emails, but it's just people having conversations and you're just there and you don't need to be there. Like Keith said, there's people who put meetings in for everything. Quick check-in. And it's like, this is stressing me out. So yeah, I do think before the pandemic, I think we were using communication wrong anyway. I don't have that answer, but we were using it wrong. But so now
it's been amplified.
Yeah, now it's just been amplified because now we've got so many, like the focus is how do we communicate digitally, but everybody has a different style. People even communicate on WhatsApp and it's like, I will not reply.
Yeah, so true.
Do you find anything annoying about?
Well, it's going to be a bit different for me because I work in an agency.
Yeah, it must be worse, no?
Yeah, it's.
Don't you have Teams and Slack?
So we have Teams and Slack. So we use Teams for client calls, and then we use Slack for internal calls.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, wait. So we use Teams for client calls and internal calls.
So what's Slack for?
Slack is for internal messaging. But we also have Basecamp.
But do you not message each other on Teams as well?
No. Teams, like Microsoft, I'm a tech guy. I love your laptops. I love your tablets. You know, I've been using you since, you know, forever. But Teams, terrible.
But it's called Teams. So why don't you have Teams?
No, because whenever we use Teams, it just slows everything down for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there was one time we were presenting to a client, and then everything crashed, and they were literally just like, "Guys, come on, this is like the 5th time."
Yeah, to be honest, Teams, when I'm on a Teams call, everything else slows down on my laptop.
Yeah.
But that doesn't affect us messaging on Teams. I'm not talking about.
Oh yeah, no, I think Teams was introduced because of the pandemic.
Yeah. No, it was before.
No, in our agency, it was introduced because everyone was using Slack and I think Zoom to do stuff. And there was like in the agency world, people fly out to clients to do face-to-face meetings. So there's a lot of that, or they'll come into the office. So yeah, I think it's just a bit. Yeah, it's a bit strange.
So what grinds your gears then about pandemic communications? The meetings.
I think
This guy has 100 meters a day, and I'm like, how do you get your work done?
it's because I work on different clients, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't even know if I'm allowed to name the clients. Go on.
I don't know. Can you?
Maybe. So like working with like Timberland, the North Face, Nokia, like brands like Intel, and so on and so forth.
But still, does it basically, when I have a day of meetings, unless they're like back to back with big gaps for work, I just can't get stuff done. So, I think I talked about this on my channel in a video. I listened to a podcast by The Art of Manliness, and the episode was called Email. I think it was like Emails Ruining Our Life, or something like that.
Yeah,
something dramatic, but
to that as well.
True. And it was just talking about like, what was it? Task switching, and like the fact that, when we use email wrong, and it's like almost like an instant messaging thing, and I guess that's what Teams is as well, and Slack and whatever. You try to block out time to focus on tasks that need like brain power, but then you're hearing ping, 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 and you're like, your brain is going back and forth trying to like, oh, this is just a quick message, let me reply, not knowing that you've just like left a bit of residue and you've gone over there, now you're trying to come back. And that's why at the end of the day, people are working from home, literally not moving, but they're so shattered at the end of the day. Because what I've learned is that I think there's a difference between like physical fatigue and mental fatigue, but they're both fatigue. Like you're exhausted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'm saying this, I'm just complaining, but I guess being in the pandemic is different, because when you're in the office, as much as it is still a distraction if someone comes over to you, I feel like there's also something about the Teams ping and the June.
Yo, is this we hate Teams?
Oh, okay, my bad. It's because I use Teams. It could be anything. It could be the email sound. It could be, what did I use before that had a specific sound? Whatever it is, there's something mentally, I think, about that like sound that really draws your attention away. And also, I don't know if like me, adds like, it does something to your heart. It goes
Yeah, I turn when I'm working, I put my laptop on mute.
And, yeah, I do.
And then I put I have like select notifications come through. Like I don't have my email come through all the time.
But don't you find that sometimes brings a level of like even if I put it on Do Not Disturb, I glance and I see, oh, a second ago I didn't have anything, and now I've got like four notifications. Okay, well, Keith doesn't care.
If you need me, you will actually message me.
Yeah, but they are messaging you, but your thing's on silent.
No, it's on silent, but I have like certain things come up. So if it's like, hey, we need this, or can you do this by, I check my emails once in the morning, just before lunch, and then like midway between coming back from lunch and before the end of the day.
We all need to be like, we all need to be like Keith is the moral of this video. Because I struggle with that. It just feels like everything is so urgent, when in reality it's not. Like, unless, I don't know, you're a doctor or something, nothing is that urgent, really and truly.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess it's just,
we feel like it is.
It's understanding the difference between what important and urgent. Urgent but not important. There's two other bits, but
important and urgent, not important, not urgent.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, that's
it's just
logical.
It's understanding the difference between all of those stuff.
And that's another thing about communicating online versus in person, is that there's no tone or nuance or whatever to people's messages. So I think that's why everything seems urgent, because someone could type, unless they literally specify not urgent, like when you're free, when you got time. If they say, hey, please can you send me blah, 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 you don't know, you've got no context. So in your head, or in my head, it's like, oh, they need that now.
Yeah. Oh, we should actually provide a bit more context. We work in social media.
Oh,
So that, I think
marketing,
marketing,
digital, content, social.
So that adds a level of everything is urgent.
Everything is real time. Everything is like reactive.
So you can,
word.
you can be doing work. You can have your day set out. Somebody reacts wrong or retweets something that your brand or whatever is working on, and now it blows up, and now you have a crisis going on, and now your whole day is shifted. For me anyway, that doesn't. If I'm working on one brand, that crisis doesn't affect the work for other brands. So
Yeah. Anyways, so
what?
I feel like I'm bashing your job, but agency side, I don't know if I could, I've never even worked agency side, but I already had it in my head that I'm not going to work agency side.
Salute to my agency brothers
Agency
and sisters.
peeps.
Yeah.
And if you're in like digital marketing or social media, you should follow an Instagram account called Work in Social, they said. It's jokes.
That's funny.
I feel like every social media manager or content manager ever follows that page.
It is funny, yeah.
It's so relatable because it makes you realize like, oh, I'm not alone when I have this frustration. But it's not all bad.
Yeah. You recently started a new job.
Yes, on Monday, as in 6 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. How was it?
How is it?
How's your first week been?
My first week's been good. Like so far, the flags are green. Like no red flags. No regrets. No like, oh my god, I made a mistake. Because I really did. I did a video on this on my channel about why I quit my last job and the journey I took to get to this job, and I was very intentional about like the job, the company I wanted to work for. I turned down a few like in the process. I sort of got to certain stages of the interview and thought, no, no, agencies included. And so, yeah, I was obviously really intentional. So it meant like, I didn't want to get it wrong. And luckily the first week has showed me I think I made the right decision. The first week you're honestly you feel like a useless piece of paper on the desk. Like you actually, I'm speaking from personal experience, but you don't do much because obviously you don't know anything and they're kind of just inducting you into the company, meeting people. This company is bigger than the last one I was at, so there's more people to meet. So that's been really good. But I personally am less comfortable. I guess a lot of people are probably like this, less comfortable in uncertainty. So, or is that the word? Uncertainty. When you don't know stuff, basically. So, not only am I in a company that I know nothing about, everyone I meet is new. The building I'm in, I'm not even familiar with. So just everything, like literally, like your whole environment is like new. And for me, that's not when I'm comfortable. Like some people are more comfortable in that space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like anxiety. I can't lie. Even when nothing was going wrong, just like little things like leaving the toilet and forgetting like which way you turned and like forgetting what floor you're on and all of that happening at the same time as like you walking past someone and they're saying, oh, hey, Adella. And you're thinking, have I met you? Probably like, yeah, it's just lots of new information basically, which can overload your brain. And I guess some people's bodily response is to be like, oh my gosh, I'm in danger. So that was exhausting. I can't lie. Like literally, even though I did no work, I'd come home every day and be shattered. But it's been good.
Okay, that's cool. That's that's a stark difference to when I first started.
Because you were at home, or
and I was like, the first week I didn't have much to do. I was like, I got nothing to do, so I'm just gonna.
I thought I'd be like that, even because my manager and our manager, like the director, both gave me the advice to say like, literally don't, like just chill, take it all in. We're not gonna, bombard you with stuff. They basically made me as comfortable as you could possibly make a person, which goes to show that it's nothing external that made me feel that way. I'm there listening like, yeah, okay, great. But then when I'm actually like not doing stuff or got a couple of hours free just to, get used to stuff on my laptop or whatever, this feeling of like, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah. No.
So it's all internal. All of it's internal. Obviously, external factors affect it, but it's not like a reflection of where I'm working. I feel like I would have the same experience wherever I went. So it's just a me problem basically that I had to deal with. But aside from that, on paper, everything is cool. Dare I say, excited?
Yeah, I think especially
to work,
coming from your previous environment, like great people, but obviously quite stressful.
Yeah,
it's what from outside in. It's good to see that the first week has given you a bit of hope.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had a catch up with my therapist yesterday, and I was explaining to him all the like feelings I was feeling, and funnily, one of the things that I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to not make the same mistakes, I'd say, as I did in previous roles, where, like, for example, having learned that I am a people pleaser, a recovering people pleaser, that's what I'm calling myself, I was like adamant that, like, when I go into this new role, everything I do has to position me in a place where I'm not that person. So down to like my outfit on my first day, I was like, listen, I want this outfit. I want my hair. I wore this hair because I wanted it to intimidate you just a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted it to be like, I wanted to set a precedence that, like, I'm not too nice, but I'm cool and I'm cool people's, but don't send me too many emails. And then even when I'm talking to people, I'm being myself, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, my therapist explained it quite well. He said, he said, are you trying not to be the person or the path of least resistance? And I was like, that is exactly it. So when somebody's got, like, say someone's got something they need, like, urgently, and it's quite like a big ask, I don't want to be the person that comes to mind as like, oh, Adella's probably the easiest person to ask because she is the path of least resistance. I don't want that. That's not the reputation I want. So like, I was being too mindful of that, basically, to the point where, like, it's like, right, Adella, just be yourself. And then when opportunities arise, or when scenarios arise where you have to actively try not to be a people pleaser, then tackle it as it comes.
Yeah. Interestingly, like with agency stuff, when stuff like that happens, whether it's clients or other people within the agency or team, we're encouraged to be like, yes or no, but basically not now. I'll do this at this time.
Yeah.
Unless it's like your arm and leg are literally about to fall off.
Yeah, so, but if you were a people pleaser, you would just be thinking about, like, what is the answer that is gonna... In my case, it's not just like, I want to make them happy. It's more, I want to make them happy so that they have a good perception of me.
I hear you. Yeah.
So, like, I get that the answer is like, yes, no, maybe so later. But I don't know how to explain it, but, like, my responses are always, or sometimes too quickly, a people pleasing answer.
No, I hear you.
And then my therapist also said, in those scenarios, you have to think, like, is it a win-win? Is a yes for them a no for me? Or is a yes for them a yes for me? Or is a no for them a yes for me? Do you get it? So obviously that basically
I'm gonna watch this back.
You asked me to do something.
Yeah.
If I say yes, is that a yes for me as well? Or if I say no to you, is that a yes for me? Or if I say
got
yes,
got it.
If I say yes, is that a no for me?
Detriment to
yeah,
you?
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, and he said, obviously, you know, there's some cases where you might have to, you know, sacrifice, but it's just something to think about, because oftentimes a yes to someone else can be a no to you. But it's, I mean, there's so many layers to it. Like, when are you selfless? When are you selfish?
Yeah, it's the fear of overworking, right?
Yeah.
Which is a video coming out on my channel. Might be out. I don't know when it will be out, but I'll link it somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, it's that fear of not overworking or being seen as always on or always available, right? So
also not wanting to be seen as
lazy,
a slacker, a lazy person, blah blah blah. There's so much, like, I wish we could just go to work and do our work, but it's like, we're humans, isn't it? So there's so much psychology and stuff that goes into everything that we do. Oh dear.
Yeah.
But do you have that problem at work? Are you a yes man?
No.
Don't know why I asked.
But
I think you are a little bit, you know.
I'm a yes.
Because not out of fear of, like, perception or whatever. Actually, maybe. I think it's out of you just like to help people. So
yeah, I like to help people. So maybe I am go for it.
But you like to help people. I do feel like there is a little bit of, like, I don't want to use the word insecurity, but, like, this idea of, like, wanting to do a good job and be...
Oh, I like to do things with a spirit of excellence.
Yeah, that's but what I mean is, like you might ask, do you think I should say that, or do you think I should do this? So you're still thinking of other people and perception and stuff. It's not as extreme as me, but I think we all have that a bit of it.
Yeah.
element. It's like when you were not feeling well and you were questioning like, is it bad? Like, do you know what I mean? Some things have been ingrained in us to say, yes, I'm ill, but like, oh, would it look bad if I
Yeah, but
call
that's
in
because
sick
of like
tomorrow?
toxic work cultures.
That's what I
Like
mean.
my
Yeah.
my
So
last role was
yeah. So it affects us, isn't it?
yeah. True.
If you're sick, call in sick, guys.
Yeah. If you're ill, if you're on holiday, you're on holiday. If you're ill, you're ill.
But I give the wickedest advice and I don't take it. So Keith would be like, oh, you think I can call in sick again? I'm like, are you ill? He's like, yeah. I was like, call in sick. It doesn't matter. Hand over. It's not your problem. But then these times, if it was me, I'd be like, I'm okay. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
Good chat.
Good chat.
Yeah. We are, maybe the next few videos are still going to be on the theme of working. And we have to answer some of your questions.
Yes.
So subscribe to the question. What?
Subscribe to the questions.
Subscribe if you want to see us answering the questions you have about work. But yeah, we actually do want to talk more about like the creator economy, social media, adulting, all of that stuff.
Yep.
So like, subscribe, and we'll see you then.
Peace. Oh gosh, I've turned into you. Peace.